Good morning, everyone. Oh, I didn't do my walk in the morning yesterday. It's been too damn cold. Yesterday was 37 degrees, so I opted not to. This morning it's about 40 right now, and the sun's out, so a little bit better. Oh, man. Gotta get all that crud out of my lungs. Got some glass bottles over here. People who come out this way do some drinking on the outskirts of town, but they're kind of dumb because when they start driving through these fields, there's a couple washes, and yeah, they're risking screwing up their car and the car's alignment. Whew. Put on my gloves here. It's a little bit chilly. I hate cold hands. Grew up in Ohio in the cold. Hate it when my hands are cold. Always get yourself some good work gloves. These are they're not mechanics. They're a set of gloves that I bought at Harbor Freight. Pretty sure that's where I got them, if I remember correctly. Get yourself some good gloves. Something protect yourself, but also give you the dexterity you need. Whew. Oh, man, it feels good out here. Just a little bit cool. Dude driving fast. Let me show you this sign. Not maintained by San Bernardino County. Drive at your own risk. That's the type of roads we have around here. And of course, we get big old potholes. But it's a dirt road. Shouldn't expect much out of a dirt road. But you get the LA people out here, you think you should. I'm just looking at all the trash and stuff out here. I'll come back out later, pick some of the stuff up. Remnants of someone's house that was out here. It's a nice little lot. They got it kind of cleared off as compared to the rest of the desert. I should bring my metal detector out here. See what's out here. There are areas where you can find some really cool old things out here. But today's going to be a nice day. It's going to be in the high 50s. So really nice. You can see Joshua Tree Park, those mountains behind me. Those look really nice. So, yeah. And then the end of the week and all through next week, we're going to have some beautiful weather. It's going up into the 60s. So I will not be complaining about that one bit. That's, for the most part, the weather out here is beautiful through most of the year. Only in the summer does it get unbearable and get about 4.5 to sometimes even 5 months where it's really rough. But beyond that, it's pretty good. It definitely grows on you. Look in here, we got a cross street. I'm trying to figure out which way we should go. More cars behind me. I can share, none of them are turning down the road I'm on. I'll make the right here, go down this way. Whew. I gotta start looking into what the housing prices are around here. They were inflated for the longest time, and then they started coming down. That's yeah. Ooh, a lot of cholla cactus. Now, okay, in the one of the last things I talked about these here. So here's a couple of them. Here's a really healthy one. You can see how everything gets stuck in this thing. And these, here, I don't want to get stuck by one of these, but all you have to do is just kind of touch it. That one's not coming out, but they normally get stuck right on all your stuff and they hurt bad. But when you see them here in the sun, they look kind of fuzzy. And that's because of all the stickers that they have on them. And there's a bunch of them on this lot. But it's also how they get around those stickers, stick to animals and whatnot, and then shake off later. Now, I'm going to show you these hills behind me here. This is where everyone likes to ride their ATVs. Very popular area for ATV riding. Any questions? And see, we got a couple people in the stream. I've got a interview with a veteran he's starting his own nonprofit out of the Atlanta area. That's going to be coming out this week. I'm just going to do some quick edits. If you were on, we did it live. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you could have saw it unedited. But I've got the recording, and I'll put that out for everyone to watch. Really good dude. He's gone through a rough way, which is not really uncommon for a lot of veterans. He was the most interesting thing was he was brought up on charges and served 19 months in a federal penitentiary for a short barrel rifle. Now, if you're like me and you follow the politics of the Second Amendment and the court cases of the Second Amendment, that's all being challenged as unconstitutional. The ATF, in my opinion, and the opinion of many judges now, has overstepped its authority because several of the statutes that they're claiming make short barrel rifles illegal. Several of these statutes doesn't actually say that in black and white. They wrote a couple memos and they're using interpretations of it. So if this thing, sorry, I'm looking, I don't know if these are dog or coyote tracks here in the road. Could be either. So if, which there's a lot of stuff right now challenging these short barrel rifle laws that they're enforcing, and they're challenging the interpretation of it. And we're starting to see some success post New York State rifle pistol, based upon some of that, and Bruin and Heller, some of these big decisions that the Supreme Court has ruled on. We're starting to see it come in our favor, and yeah, I think in the next 2 years that ATF will be put under considerable scrutiny, and the charge that he was convicted on will be determined to have not been legal, and that gives him the ability to go back and reopen his conviction. It's a tough thing, but you know, it's just time, because getting convicted under a law that's ruled unconstitutional, or at least the interpretation that was enforced under is unconstitutional, gives you a pretty good way to question it. We got a big wash here. I don't know. That looks like it was a telephone pole. I don't know what that was. I gotta get into these washes here, and a lot of junk just kind of finds its way. I'm gonna try not to fall and bust my ass. So let's look down here. There's a hose and some trash. I'm sure that all just got blown into there. But yeah, this is all interesting. The stuff you find in the desert, you know? But yeah, so he was a very interesting. When was the last time it rained there from the one? Um, we had rain here about a week ago, and we had probably good 4 days worth of rain. It rained pretty good the first day, and then the rest of the time it was like a mist. So I would venture to say we have already hit our yearly rainfall, uh, because we had another set of rain a couple weeks prior. So yeah, I think well, you're already starting to see everything is green in the desert. All the vegetation is green right now, and it's the way this works is after like a month or so, everything that all the seeds and whatnot start sprouting, and the water is still there. It's still moist under the ground. So you it does it's still fed by water, so it does stick around. Sorry. So everything will be green. We'll get some wildflowers here, and it'll be very pretty this spring. So if you're not far from Southern California in about a month, I would highly recommend coming out to Joshua Tree National Park. It's going to be a really beautiful time of year to come out. Lots of wildflowers. It's going to smell great. It's going to look great. So yeah, that's what the water does when we get rain, and we might get more rain. I wouldn't be surprised if we get more. We are still coming out of the drought, uh, and you know, having been to Afghanistan, it it doesn't get green like this in Afghanistan. This sand is very coarse, whereas the sand in Afghanistan was very fine. It was uh, like the dust that you get in your vacuum cleaner. When you empty it and you get that real fine dust. That's what Afghanistan was like. And when it would rain there, everything was like a sludge. Here, you get rain, it'll wash out the roads, but because this is coarse, a lot of it goes straight into the ground. So it it's been a good year already for rain. Hopefully, we get a little bit more, fill up our aquifers. This city, uh, this city here, we don't take water from the Colorado River. We're one of the few places in Southern California. We have an underground aquifer because we also have a fault line that runs through the middle of town here, and it all settles at one point. So under the ground, we have several areas where the water pools, and it's already gone through the sand. So that means the sand acts as a natural filter. So it's already clean. We have some of the top cleanest water in California here. It's really fascinating the way it works. But yeah, it's it's clean. It's good. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Today's a good day. It's a beautiful morning. We're out on our walk. Yeah. So thank you, Alatina. Yeah, appreciate it. Good looking out. But yeah, if you come out here, yeah, the water, and it all comes from these mountains of Joshua Tree. So it rains up there. Sometimes it doesn't rain here. It'll rain up there, and it all gets in and comes this way. And so, and this area all used to be a prehistoric lake. So there's areas where you can go. Oh, you're in Samoa. Oh, that's great. Well, welcome. We get a lot of Samoans who live here in town. A lot of people who've moved. In fact, probably the most famous one, he lives in the next town over, Joshua Tree, is Jason Momoa, Aquaman. He lives out here. We also, Cheech Marin moved out here probably about 3 years ago. I've never seen either of the two, but I'm kind of a hermit. I stay in my house. But I do have friends and neighbors who've seen both of them uh, around. Uh, and Amber Heard used to live in Yucca Valley, but she had to sell her house because of the her legal bills. So she had $1 million house out there in Yucca. You wouldn't get me to pay $1 million to live in Yucca Valley. Oh, that's your uncle. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I hear he's a nice guy. I've never met him. Uh, but yeah, I had a roommate. She met him at, there used to be a cafe called Natural Sisters. Met him there. Uh, but yeah, it's a nice area. Here, I'll try to show it. So on the other side of these really light colored mountains, um, there's if you were to keep going that way, there's a farm that used to be owned by Dick Dale. And Dick Dale, he had a hit back in the late 50s, early 60s called Miserlou. And you would all know that as the song from Pulp Fiction. But he made his money and he built himself, he called it Dick Dale's Sky Ranch. And he had his own landing strip. It's still there. So if you go onto Google Maps, you'll see it. But yeah, he had his own landing strip there and lived out here for years. Also, Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, he's got a place out here. People I know have seen him shopping at the grocery store out here. So I've never, the whole time I've been in California, I've never seen a celebrity just like out and about. Now, if I go somewhere where, like I've been to celebrity golf tournaments and stuff like that, you see them there. But I've never just like run into one. But then again, it's probably a good thing. I'm a little bit of a jerk. I'd probably be like, what the hell, dude? But yeah. Now, I used to live down in the Palm Springs area. That's where I did a lot of the events where I would see them at the events, like the Dinah Shore golf tournament when that was going on. They've since, say, Mananga, or Maniga. Maniga? Is that, am I saying it correctly? Let me know. That's, I like pronouncing things the correct way when I can. Uh, that's, but yeah, there's some interesting cultural stuff out here. A lot of people, a lot of people coming out this way. And this is, I jokingly say this is where people come to die because we get a lot of retirees and a lot of snowbirds that come out here. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I pronounced it correctly. That's I okay. So I, other than here and the Samoans that live here, that's my interaction. But when I was in Afghanistan, I actually got to know a couple of the Tongans. They were our security forces. They replaced the Bahraini police force that were on our camp. I'm gonna turn around here and head back home. And yeah, the Tongans, they were really cool. They when they took over from the Bahrainis, they did a haka, so that was pretty cool to see that. So you know, that's I've seen some interesting things in my life. That's I'm very blessed for that. But you got to get out of your comfort zone. In fact, I was talking today about when I went to Moscow back in 2015. I took about 4 days, and I went to Moscow, and because they were talking about Putin and everything that's going on. It's funny when I went there, when people found out I was an American, they were incredibly welcoming and gracious. They were interested in why I had come to Moscow, and I love history. Uh, Went to the Kremlin Armory, which I highly recommend. What's your favorite food? I love spaghetti with meatballs. If it's good spaghetti with meatballs, I love spaghetti with meatballs. A good hearty one, and it's got to have mushrooms and sauce. That's my favorite. But yeah, Moscow was never successfully invaded. So if you like historical stuff, they still have everything there in the Kremlin Armory. I got to see Ivan the Terrible's crown. They had a 400 or 500 year old chariot that was donated to the Romanovs. So there was some really cool things. But really, I just enjoyed how the people were. They were very, you know, they were happy to see me there, which that's always a good thing. They were glad that I had an interest in their city and their culture. I do want to go back to Russia. Obviously, I'd like to see St. Petersburg, and I know people think I'm weird when I say this, but I would also. Oh, we got some weird things here. I didn't notice this when we passed. We got some trash, but the transformer cabinet is open. Oh, that's a problem, huh? Because this could be. Actually, this isn't transformer. This is that's phone lines. That is not good. So I'll probably have to call and let the uh, let the local authorities know that that's wide open. That should be locked up and closed. Someone's probably stealing phone or cable or something. But that's not good. Uh, but yeah, the people of Moscow I thought were great. Uh, I've got some pretty funny stories of things I did not expect. Uh, but so what I was saying is people think I'm crazy. I would like to go to eastern Russia, uh, near the Manchurian Peninsula. There's a couple cities there because it's different. While it's still Russia, it's culturally different. Uh, it's much more seafaring, way more Asiatic. When we think for Americans, when Americans say Asians, we're always thinking of like Southeast Asia, even though there's a lot more to Asia. There's Indians, there's Chinese, Mongolians, Russians. Like, yeah, most Americans don't have a good grasp of geography, but yeah, it's much more what Americans would think of when we say Asian because it's so close to Manchuria and Southeast Asia, China, Mongolians. You get all those influences. And I've had a couple friends go to Mongolia and said it was Okay, that's it says it's connected there. So sorry that I lost you. Uh, yeah, it was just a bad thing there. Uh, so I'll go ahead and I'll wrap this up because yeah, we're gonna have more connection problems. Uh, Thank you for joining me this morning. And if you would, go to veteranationfoundation.com. You can buy one of our t-shirts there. And when you do that, you're going to support the veterans that I'm able to help. And, we can make this place a little bit better for our veterans. Um, and as always, thank you for being worth serving. And if you follow me on Twitter at Real Vet Nation, if you follow me on Instagram at Vet Nation Show, I I've got so many different things because I keep getting kicked off because I laugh at inappropriate jokes, but yeah, I break the terms of service. So um, you can follow me on those. We also have our Facebook group, Veteran Nation, there. And, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, comment. That all helps me. And the more help I can get out there, the more veterans I can help. But I appreciate you joining me on the walk this morning. And yeah, thank you for everything. And I hope you all have a great day. And I hope things are going well in your lives. Thank you for being worth serving.